Here's where I am currently on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project. I primarily worked on this side today, primarily working during the morning hours. I recall it was the mid to late morning hours that I worked on coloring in this side. I recall it was either right after or around the time around 8 in the morning when I had with my first cup of plain coffee. I called it Moose Crunch since that's the brand name, but it's actually closer to Cracker Jack since it's caramel popcorn. It's caramel popcorn and has some nuts in it. I had 2 helpings of the dark chocolate variety of Moose Crunch. What I'll do next, most likely, is use this Sharpie marker to add some depth to the clouds on the front and sides, and at some point on the back side too of this Moogle polystyrene drawing project. I recall I had those 2 helpings of caramel popcorn with some nuts. With 2 different cups of coffee. Although technically it's that was more than 2 standard cups of coffee. And my dad made 2 pots of coffee throughout the morning hours. I think I recall having 3 full cups of that Good Morning cup and a partial 4th cup that was pretty close to a full cup. Though because the Good Morning cup is bigger than a standard coffee cup, I would estimate I had roughly 6 full cups of plain coffee. From 8 in the morning to noon. I recall working on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project until I finished coloring that side I finished coloring today. Somewhere between 8 in the morning and 10 in the morning. I'm gonna put it at 9 in the morning, around that time, and after that point, I worked on editing on my laptop the Gabarella's vlog I took while me and my immediate family were last in Philadelphia. From that, I used the charger to my phone as a tether. I'm not sure if that's the technical term, but I took off the adapter that connects my phone charger to a wall socket and used that end where the adapter was. Connected that to my laptop, that end. Connected the other end to the adapter on my phone. And upon doing that, I got the option to copy and paste the raw video clips that I took at Gabarella's, copied them from my phone once I have found them through looking through my phone's files through this same layout as my files on my laptop. I copied the videos after resizing the File Explorer tab so that I could copy all of the videos at once. Since 34 is divisible by 2, I pasted the videos onto an otherwise blank folder, imported the videos into the Media tab on Camtasia 2019 Studio, put each video from earliest to latest on the project timeline, and then spent until roughly 3 p.m. from that point. I think it was at least 4 hours. First checking the audio. To see if there was anything I felt I should remove. Which happened a handful of times. Which required splitting that particular raw video file it occurred on. Splitting it twice and then removing the video between the splits, video and audio with it. And then later on I added animations of pictures of the front of some polystyrene drawing projects. Primarily to cover some people's faces. I then saved the video project. Had it render as a 1080p MP4 file, and then uploaded the MP4 file to my YouTube channel, and by that point it was somewhere between 4 and 4:30 p.m. Then as the video uploaded, I typed in the title and description using the touch keyboard function on my laptop, because a few keys on my keyboard became unresponsive at least a year ago. Probably at least 2 years ago, except I used my computer mouse this mouse to move the cursor, because I wore out the trackpad on my laptop so that I can't right click with it or drag and drop with it. And I also I manually disabled the touchscreen on my laptop because I had problems with it at one point early on. I am fortunate to still be able to use this laptop. since historically, every laptop I had lasted about a year on average. And I am thankful that despite that, I always had one laptop or another, pretty much. This food is some of the food that was brought home. When me and my dad went over to one of his friends' places. And that friend cooked this chicken French and this pasta. And she did a pretty good job. I had 2 helpings of that pasta and chicken French while there. I had one of the large Goach beers from a 4-pack. Though we only brought in 2 for me. Only I had any. I had just one. They were put in after they were put in the refrigerator. First, the freezer part for about roughly 25 minutes or so. And then the non-freezer part afterwards. Just so that one Goach beer I had would be cold. And then after I finished sipping at it, along with some passion fruit juice that was purchased from a BJ's. And I also had 2 slices of a Cardinal Reese's ice cream cake that I recall I was told it was purchased from a Tops. Along with, at one point, some kind of store-bought buttery nipple shot kit. Where the 2 components that make up that shot are separated by a kind of plastic divider, and you're supposed to put your lips in the middle of the plastic divider so you get both components of that shot at the same time. I don't recall being told where that store-bought shot kit was bought from, but that store-bought buttery nipple shot was pretty good. I recall me and my dad were at his friend's place, one of his friend's place, roughly from 5:30 p.m. Since we first briefly went to a nearby Wegmans to get that 4-pack of large Goach beers I mentioned earlier, and so a craft your own 6-pack could be purchased too during that brief Wegmans shopping trip. I recall we left that place of one of my dad's friends roughly around 9 p.m. 8:30 p.m. at the earliest, though I'm leaning towards 9 p.m. And at one point while we were at that friend's place, someone made some kind of garlic bread, of which I had just one piece, since that was after I had the 2 helpings of angel hair pasta and chicken French. I recall being uncomfortably full for a majority of the time me and my dad were at the place of one of his friends. But not too uncomfortably. I recall around 3:45 p.m. having some leftovers of the pasta with corn and Italian sausage that I had for a recent earlier my dinner video. And those leftovers I had around 3:45 p.m. at my dad's suggestion. It came with some cut up leftovers of steak. I recall waking up around 2 in the morning today, naturally.